Very good morning, students. Today, let us continue our discussion on current electricity with a new concept, electrical energy and power. Electrical energy and power. We generally listening these words so many times. Electric power and electrical energy. What exactly the meaning of electrical energy and electric power, and what is the formula for calculation of power? Everything we are going to understand today. Let us take a resistor like this. Let us take a resistor of resistance R. This is the symbol of resistance. Resistance means net opposition for the flow of electrons through a conductor is called resistance. So here let me take a point A, let me take a point B here. The potential, electric potential at point A is VA, electric potential at point B is VB. The strength of current passing through this wire is I. For time being, potential at A is greater than potential at B. Let me take. Current always move from high potential zone to low potential zone. So here I is the strength of current passing through a resistor R. If I find the potential difference between A and B. What is the potential difference? V is equal to VA minus VB. As we have taken VA is greater than VB, VA minus VB is greater than 0. The potential difference is greater than 0. In delta t time, the magnitude of charge moving through resistor is how much? We need the charge flowing through the resistor in a time interval delta t. You know that electric current is defined as charge passing through certain time interval. So delta Q can be given by, let it be delta Q. Delta Q can be given by I delta T. The charge flowing through the resistor delta Q is equal to I delta T. Let me take potential energy at A as UA. How to get potential energy? Potential energy, if you want, we know that W is equal to VQ. So work done is nothing but potential energy. So here work is done to move a charge delta Q against a potential VA. So VA delta Q will be the potential energy at A. Similarly, potential energy at B is UB is equal to VB into delta Q. So during the motion of charge from A to B, during the motion of charge from A to B, change in potential energy delta U is equal to UB minus UA, final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Now, so change in potential energy is UB value, we calculated it as VB delta Q minus VA delta Q. So change in potential energy is VB minus VA into delta Q, or you can write it as VB minus VA into delta Q value is given by I delta T. Clearly it is less than 0. Why it is less than 0? Strength of current is positive, time interval is positive, but as we have taken VB is less than VA. So from lower value to higher value I am subtracting, means the change in potential energy is negative. The change in potential energy is negative. Now, if the charge moves without making any collision, if the charge moves without making any collision, then according to law of conservation of total energy, change in potential energy plus change in kinetic energy must be 0. That means change in kinetic energy is equal to minus of change in potential energy. So change in kinetic energy is equal to minus of VB minus VA into I delta T. So already it is a negative quantity, negative multiplied with negative, it's a positive quantity. So whenever potential energy gets negative value, the change in kinetic energy will get positive value. The change in kinetic energy will get positive value. Simply, change in kinetic energy delta K can be written as VB minus VA is nothing but minus V, minus of minus V plus V. So VI delta T, which is greater than 0. Now we calculated change in kinetic energy as well as change in potential energy. But here one point you should take into consideration, without making any collision, which is not possible. As we discussed, in the case of drift velocity, electrons will undergo many collisions to attain the drift speed. So what will happen? Due to the collision, this kinetic energy possessed by the moving charge carriers will be transferred to the surrounding atoms. So those atoms will vibrate with more and more frequency, and this energy is dissipated in the form of heat. What will happen? If no collision is observed, the potential energy is going to decrease, hence kinetic energy is going to increase. But this is an ideal situation. In real situation, the charge carriers are making so many collisions. During the collisions, the kinetic energy possessed by those electrons or charge carriers will be transferred to the surrounding atoms, and finally the electrons are attaining constant speed to move. The energy transferred to the surrounding atoms will make those atoms to vibrate with more and more frequency. Due to that vibrations, the energy will be dissipated in the form of heat. That's why every current carrying conductor gets heated up due to the passage of current through it. So in time interval dt, or delta t, the work done W is equal to, as we are taking small time interval, the work done is also small. Delta W is equal to nothing but how the work is done to generate heat. Whatever kinetic energy possessed by that kinetic energy is transferred to the surrounding atoms, which is in terms converted as heat. So delta W can be written as delta KE. Delta KE is nothing but change in kinetic energy, VI delta T. Just now we calculated VI delta T. If I bring that delta T this side, delta W by delta T is nothing but VI. This fraction will give the energy dissipated per unit time, which is called power dissipated. The energy dissipated per unit time is called power dissipated, nothing with P. P can be written as delta W by delta T. Simply, power dissipated is given by voltage into current or potential difference into current. Using Ohm's law, what is Ohm's law? V proportional to I. V is equal to IR. You can write this power as IR into I, nothing but I square R. This is one possibility. Or power can be written as I can be replaced with V by R, which implies V into V by R. So V square by R. What are the units? Volt second. Potential difference is measured in volt ampere. Volt ampere. Or work done by time taken means joule per second, or it is called watt. Power is having units watt. So whatever energy lost in the form of heat is considered as power dissipated here. Hence this expression gives power loss or ohmic loss. Why it is called ohmic loss? Because of the resistance offered to the flow of electrons or charge carriers, this power loss is occurring. Hence the power loss can be given by either V square by R or I square R, depending on situation we are using the formula. This power loss is also called ohmic loss. So 3 points you should remember here. What is the formula for power dissipated? Voltage into current. The same formula can be written as I square R. The same formula can be written as V square by R. Generally, in parallel combination, voltage is fixed. So wherever we are required to calculate the power loss in parallel combination, we use V square by R. In series combination, current is fixed. So in series combination, if you want to calculate power dissipated or power loss, we use the formula I square R. General formula is voltage into current. Power is measured in either joules per second or volt into ampere or watt. Any unit you can use. So in order to get some loss of power through the circuit, we require a source. Who will give the power to the circuit which is to be dissipated? There should be some generator or there should be some supplier. Who is supplying this power? Let us understand. Source of power. Source of power. Source of power. We need external source. We need external source. We need external source like chemical cells. Like chemical cell. To keep the to keep the steady current, through the conductor, we need an external source like chemical cell to keep the steady current through the conductor, which is called battery. The symbol is like this. A single source of energy provider is called cell. Group of cells is considered as battery. The purpose of this chemical cell or dry cell is to provide steady current through the circuit such that certain power is dissipated. For example, if you take an electric bulb, what happens in electric bulb? The filament gets heated up by radiating heat and light. In electric bulb, the filament gets heated up to get power loss. In the form of heat and light. This electric bulb, which is having a filament, is considered as incandescent bulb. Incandescent bulb. Due to this incandescence, it is losing the power in the form of heat and light. Next, we need to understand one more point here. Power loss in transmission lines. Next concept is power loss in transmission lines. Power loss in transmission lines. Generally, in our household purpose, we are using electric power, which is generated at power generating stations which are very far away from the household community, and from the power generating station to our house, the power is carried by wires or conductors. During this passage through the wires of kilometers length, there is some power loss associated. The power loss associated with the long conductors which are connecting the houses with the power generating station is considered as power loss in transmission lines. You know that power dissipated in a device at home P is equal to voltage into current. or current passing through the device is given by power by voltage. If the resistance of connecting wires from power station to the device, if the resistance of connecting wires from power station or power generating station to the device is equal to RC. What is RC? Entire power cables what we used right from the power station to the device. Device means it at home. The entire resistance offered by those conductors, I am taking it as RC. Okay. How to calculate power dissipated in connecting wires? Power dissipated in connecting wires. Power dissipated in connecting wires, I am taking it as I square RC. I square RC. I is the current which is transferred from generating station to the device. So power dissipated through that conductors is given by I square into RC. But already you know that I is equal to P by V. Power required is P by V. The same required power is generated by and transmitted. So in the place of this I am writing RC. So power dissipated through those cables is given by P square RC by V square. P square RC by V square. Clearly we cannot change this RC value. Even we cannot change this P value because P is the power required for the operation of device. So this is constant, this is constant. Power dissipated through the cable is inversely proportional to the voltage square. Whenever we increase the voltage of the power transmitting through the wire, power loss gets reduced because both are inversely proportional. That's why we send very, very high voltages through the transmission cables. That's why they are keeping some danger signals. We should not touch those wires because they are carrying around 30 kilovolts or 40 kilovolts. Even at railway station, that electric power cable which is used for the operation of the locomotive is having some red color danger symbols which is written over there, 20 kilovolts or 40 kilovolts. Very high voltages we are preferring to transmit the power through the wire. Why? Whenever voltage increases, the loss of power through that cable gets decreases. Energy wasted will be minimized by sending very, very high voltage current. Very, very high voltage current through the transmission cable. But our devices will be operated at very low voltage, around 220 to 250 volts. To decrease that voltage, we use an instrument called transformer. So transformers are the devices which are used to decrease the voltage or increase the voltage. The required voltage for the operation of the device can be generated by the transformer. The transformer decreases this transmitting voltage to the required voltage. So this is about power loss in transmission lines. Remember that here I is the current required by the device. The same current is provided by the power station through this transmitting cables. The transmitting cables are providing RC resistance. Due to that, power loss is PC. The power loss is inversely proportional to voltage square. That's why we will send the power with high voltage through the transmitting cables such that loss of power in the form of heat is less, and the required voltage can be changed by transformer for the operation of the device. I hope I reached you. Now, let us do one or two problems related to this concept. Here is a problem. The question says, a current of 2 amperes is flowing through a conductor of resistance 4 ohms. Current of 2 amperes is flowing through a through a conductor of resistance 4 ohms. Conductor of resistance 4 ohms. Find the electrical energy consumed in in 10 seconds. Very simple problem. Let us do the solution. What is the data given to us? Solution. You are given the current value. Strength of current is 2 amperes. And you are given the value of resistance 4 ohms. The time interval delta t is equal to 10 seconds or t. You can take it as t. You are asked to calculate electrical energy consumed. Energy consumed. Nothing but work done. Energy and work are both are same. Work done means V dq. V delta q. Delta q is the charge flowing. Okay. I is equal to delta q by delta t. Or q by t you can take. So Vi delta t. Potential difference is not provided. As per Ohm's law, potential difference is IR into I delta t. So I square R delta t. I is 2 square. R 4 ohms. Delta t 10 seconds. 16 into 10, 160 joules. 160 joules is the energy dissipated. Directly you can use I square R delta t. Energy consumed is nothing but work done. I square R delta t. Very, very simple problem. Let us do one more simple problem. The question says, calculate the resistance of 40 watt automobile headlight. 40 watt automobile headlight. 40 watt automobile headlight designed for 12 volts. Designed for 12 volts. It is also very, very simple problem. The solution is very simple. They gave the power as 40 watt. It is designed to operate at a voltage of 12 volts. Okay. Voltage value is given, power value is given. Asked to calculate the resistance. Asked to calculate the resistance. You know that power is equal to voltage into current. Current can be replaced with V by R. So power is equal to V square by R, implies resistance is equal to V square by P. V square means 40 into 40 by power value again 40. So V square, sorry, 12 into 12. 12 into 12 by power value is 40. So it will go for 36 by 10. 3.6 watt. 3.6 watts. So the resistance we calculated. Resistance means ohms and ohms. 3.6 ohms. Next question. One more simple question let us do. The question is like this. Question. The current in an electric bulb decreases by 0.5%. The current in an electric bulb decreases by 0.5%. The current in an electric bulb is decreases by 0.5%. Then how will power in the bulb change? Then how will the power in the bulb changes? This is the question. You know that power solution. Power is given by I square R or R V square by R. Which one we need to select? We are given current in the electric bulb decreases by. Current in the electric bulb decreases by percentage they gave. Whenever you are given percentage, change in current by original current into 100. That percentage they gave it as 0.5. Actually it is decreasing, so I should keep minus here. Minus delta I by I into 100, they gave it as 0.5. So as they are involving current here, let me take the expression containing current. So power is equal to I square R. If I take the derivative of this power, resistance is fixed. For I square derivative is 2I di. You can write instead of delta I, you can write di also. Di by I into 100 is equal to 0.5. So if I take the ratio of these two, dP by P is equal to 2Ri di by I square R. R gets cancelled, I and square gets cancelled. So dP by P is equal to 2 into di by I. If I take dP by P into 100 is equal to 2 into di by I into 100. What is the value of di by I into 100? That is minus 0.5. That is minus 1. So dP by P into 100 is equal to. When current value decreases, power value also decreases. The percentage decrease in power is equal to 1%. The percentage decrease in power is 1%. It is quite simple. So like that, by using the simple formula like P is equal to I square R or V square by R, we can solve the problem. The selection of formula depends on the situation. In this situation, they gave the current through the bulb That's why I selected the formula I square R. Thank you. Next concept we are going to learn is cells. Now only we discussed a cell is a device which is used to keep the steady current through the circuit. And we need to learn about EMF. Cells, EMF, and one more word, internal resistance. So these are the three new words we are going to learn. What are they? Cells, EMF, cell and internal EMF and internal resistance. How the EMF and internal resistance are related to the cell. Let us see. In chemistry, you might have studied about electrolytic cell. Let me take an electrolytic cell here. It contains a jar, insulated jar, made with plastic or wood. This jar is provided with electrolytic solution like copper sulfate. One electrolytic solution will be there. This electrolytic solution is provided with two electrodes. This electrolytic solution is provided with two electrodes. This is the electrolytic solution. Here is an electrode. Here is another electrode. This electrode is named as P, positive electrode. This electrode is named as N, negative electrode. Here is a point in the electrolyte. Name it as A. A is a nearer point to the positive electrode. B is a nearer point to the negative electrode inside the electrolyte. This is electrolyte. Electrolyte. This is positive electrode, this is negative electrode. The metal rod which is used as positive terminal of the cell is called electrode, positive electrode. The metal rod which is used as a negative terminal is called negative electrode. So the potential on this positive electrode is V plus, it is a positive potential. The potential on the negative electrode is the same value with the negative sign, V minus. In the same manner we are representing. Here plus indicates the positive potential, here minus indicates the negative potential. The magnitude of potential over the positive electrode is V plus. The magnitude of negative potential on negative electrode is V minus. Now, generally, some electrolysis will take place. Due to the electrolysis process, all the positive ions are deposited nearer to the positive electrode. Negative ions are deposited nearer to the negative electrode. Hence, this positive electrode is getting positive potential. The value of V plus is generally greater than 0. Okay. Similarly, we are getting V minus. V minus value also greater than 0, magnitude wise. Polarity wise it is negative. V plus or V minus, only magnitude if you consider, the magnitudes are greater than 0. The magnitudes are greater than 0. Let me take the potential difference here. Let me take the potential difference here. What is the potential difference between the two electrodes? Potential on P minus potential on N. This is the potential difference between the electrodes. Potential on P is V plus minus, the potential on N is minus V minus. So V plus minus into minus plus V minus. That is the potential difference between the two electrodes. It is not connected to any circuit. So it is openly having the two electrodes. The potential difference between these two electrodes is called EMF of the cell. Is called EMF of the cell. EMF full form is electromotive force. Whenever it is connected to a resistor, the electrons in that resistor will try to move because of the influence of this cell. So this cell is providing some motivation for the movement of electrons. Hence this force is called electromotive force. What is the definition of electromotive force? Electromotive force is nothing but the potential difference between the two electrodes of a electrolytic cell. Even for the dry cell also, we will have the potential difference between the two electrodes, which can be considered as EMF. EMF is also having units volts only. Volts are the units for EMF. Now, if we connect this cell to an external resistance, what will happen? The same cell is connected to some external resistance. This is the cell chamber provided with some electrolyte having two conductors, positive electrode, negative electrode, point inside the conductor nearer to positive electrode, point inside the conductor nearer to negative electrode. This is the positive electrode, this is the negative electrode. This is connected to an external resistance. The value of external resistance is R. Whenever we connect this positive terminal and negative terminal to the external resistance, conventional current will flow through the circuit. Conventional current, let it be I. The conventional current will flow from this positive terminal to negative terminal inside the external circuit. Again, the same current will pass through the negative terminal to positive terminal inside the electrolyte. Inside the electrolyte, the same current will pass from negative terminal to positive terminal inside the electrolyte. Outside the circuit, it is going from positive terminal to negative terminal. This is the direction of current. Here, R is called external resistance. The current has to move from negative terminal to positive terminal inside the cell, inside the electrolyte. The electrolyte offers certain resistance for the flow of this current. The resistance offered by the electrolyte for the flow of current through it is called internal resistance, which is represented with small r. Small r is called internal resistance. The EMF will help the electrons to move through the entire circuit. Hence, it is called electromotive force. The potential difference between the two electrodes will make the electrons to move from negative terminal to positive terminal. That is electron current. This is conventional current. Conventional current is from positive terminal to negative terminal. So, outside the circuit, the current is passing from positive terminal to negative terminal. Inside the cell, the same current is passing through negative terminal to positive terminal to make it continuous. The resistance offered by the electrolyte for the flow of current through it is called internal resistance, represented with letter small r. Represented with letter small r. Now let us see the cell in three cases. First case number 1. Capital R is 0. That means no resistance is connected. Terminals are open. This is the first case. Case number 1, R is infinity. R is infinity, terminals are open like this. No resistor is available, infinite resistance is there to send the current from here to here. So no current is passing from positive terminal to negative terminal. It is in open circuit situation. Terminals are open to air. What will happen? I want to find the potential difference between P and N. I want to find the potential difference between P and N. That means I need to find the potential difference between P and A, Vp minus Va. I want to find the potential difference between A and B, Va minus Vb. I want to find the potential difference between B and N, Vb minus Vn. You see clearly, Va gets cancelled, Vb gets cancelled, you are left with Vp minus Vn. Now, Vp minus Va is nothing but potential difference between these two, nothing but V positive. As you discussed here, the potential at this point is V plus. This potential is 0. The potential difference is V plus only. As the terminals are open to air, no resistance is available or no resistance is connected to them. What will happen? Potential difference between A and B is 0. Potential difference between B and N, that is potential at B is 0, N is V minus, so minus V minus. What will happen? V plus this is 0. We need the difference between these two, that is 0 minus 1 minute. Once again I am writing here, potential at P is V plus minus potential at A is 0. Potential at A is 0 minus 0. Potential at B is 0 minus potential at N is minus V negative. What will happen? V plus plus V minus you will get, because minus into minus plus it becomes nothing but EMF. The difference between potential set positive and negative electrodes is called terminal potential difference. Terminal potential difference. Terminal potential difference is equal to EMF of the cell. In which case, when R is infinity, that means both the terminals are open to air. Whenever we consider a battery without connected to any circuit, the potential difference between the two ends is called terminal potential difference, which is nothing but EMF of the battery. Case number 2. Case number 2. Case number 2. In case number 1, the representation of cell is like this. There is a positive terminal, there is a negative terminal which is having some internal resistance. Internal resistance is R, the cell is having EMF E. If you find the terminal potential difference, VA minus VB. VA minus VB is equal to EMF of the cell, since the current passing through this circuit is 0. This is the symbol of cell, symbolic representation of cell. terminal potential difference between this terminal and this terminal, the potential difference is called EMF of the cell. Terminal potential difference is equal to EMF. Case number 2. R value greater than 0 and finite. Some resistance is connected through the circuit. Obviously, some current is passing through this. What will happen? Now, terminal potential difference. Terminal potential difference, nothing but Vp minus Vn, which can be written as Vp minus Va plus Va minus Vb plus Vb minus Vn. So, this is nothing but V plus minus 0, V plus only. This is nothing but 0 minus V minus, so it becomes V minus with positive sign. In between, Va minus Vb. Here I is the current for passing through a electrolytic substance of internal resistance R. You can write it as R. But it is passing from negative potential to positive potential. Negative potential to positive potential. Which sign I should assign here? Current has to go from positive to negative outside. Inside it is going from negative to positive. So I should take whether A is higher or B is higher. Current is going from negative terminal to positive terminal. I should take it as minus IR. Can you say what is the reason behind minus IR? Current has to move from positive to negative. That is conventional way. But it is moving from negative to positive. Current is coming in the opposite direction. Therefore, minus I kept. You know that V plus V minus IR is nothing but EMF minus IR. So the terminal potential difference between P and N, V is equal to E minus IR. This case is called battery discharging case. Battery discharging. Discharging in the sense current is passing through the resistor. The energy provided by the cell is dissipated in the form of heat. So energy is discharging. Hence this case is called battery discharging case. In battery discharging case, terminal potential difference V is given by E minus IR. Now symbolic representation, again we have a cell. Some internal resistance of the cell is represented like this. EMF of the cell is represented like this. Now how the current is passing? Current is passing from positive to negative. So current direction is like this. So I is the strength of current passing through the circuit. I is the current passing through the circuit, A and B. The potential difference between A and B is called terminal potential difference, which is given by E minus IR. E minus IR. This case is called battery discharging case. Here R is finite, I is not equal to 0. Some current is passing through the circuit. In that case, we have to use this equation. Let us see case number 3. Let us see case number 3. Case 3. Instead of resistor here, if I take a cell of EMF E, what will happen? Earlier, cell is getting discharged. Now the cell is going to get charged. External battery is connected. Now current passes from battery through the cell like this. Battery gets charging up. Battery or cell gets charging. In this case, if I want potential difference, terminal potential difference, that is nothing but Vp minus Vn, which can be written as Vp minus Va plus Va minus Vb plus Vb minus Vn. You know that Vp minus Va is V plus, this is minus of 0 minus of minus V minus, so finally you will get V minus here. Va minus Vb means now the current is passing in this direction. Now current is passing from positive to negative. That's why we should take I small r with positive sign. So V plus V minus plus IR. EMF plus IR. In order to charge the electrolytic cell, we need to connect this cell to an external battery. Then current passes through the battery from positive terminal to negative terminal inside the electrolyte. In such case, terminal potential difference is, here EMF value is getting decreased in discharging case, here EMF value is getting increased in charging case. Now what is the symbolic representation here? Here is a positive terminal, negative terminal, plus minus, its EMF is E, its internal resistance is R. Now current is passing through the cell from positive terminal to negative terminal like this. This is battery charging case. Battery charging. Here battery discharging case. Therefore, what is the current through the circuit? How to calculate the current through the circuit? You know that V is equal to IR, Ohm's law. E minus IR is equal to I capital R. E is equal to I into small r plus capital R. So current in the circuit is E by R plus R. Otherwise, if you want potential difference, I into R, that is ER by small r plus capital R. Potential difference between any two terminals in the circuit is given by these two formulas. Current passing through the circuit is given by this formula while battery is discharging. Similarly, while battery is charging, let me write them here. V is equal to IR, E plus IR is equal to I capital R. So I is equal to E by capital R minus small r over R. V is equal to ER by R minus R. E is equal to ER by R minus R. In discharging case, ER by R plus R. In charging case, ER by R minus R. This is related to this case. And let us understand If suppose external resistance what we connected is very much greater than small r, you can neglect small r. You can neglect small r. Such a cell with internal resistance 0 is called ideal cell. A cell with internal resistance 0 is called ideal cell. Ideal cell means a cell with internal resistance 0. Our internal resistance is negligibly small when compared to capital R. Then when small r is neglected, voltage and EMF both are having same value. So what is an ideal cell? An ideal cell is a cell in which internal resistance is negligibly small or internal resistance is 0. Internal resistance is 0. That cell is called ideal cell. In case of ideal cell, voltage value and EMF value both are equal. This is an ideal cell. I hope you understand this concept. 3 points you should remember. The first point is V is equal to EMF plus IR while battery is charging. V is equal to EMF minus IR while battery is discharging. V is equal to EMF in 2 cases. First case, when the 2 terminals are open to the air, or the second case, when external resistance connected is very much greater than internal resistance, or internal resistance is taken as 0. Such a cell is called ideal cell. Ideal cell never exists. Every cell is having certain internal resistance. So either you have to use this formula in discharging case, or you have to use this formula in charging case, in real situation. In ideal situation, voltage and EMF both are same. I hope you understood. What is a cell? A cell is an energy provider which drives the current through the circuit. Cell consists of some internal resistance. Internal resistance is nothing but a resistance offered to the flow of current through the electrolyte. Current will go from positive terminal to negative terminal inside the cell when battery is getting charged. The same current is going from negative terminal to positive terminal inside the cell while the battery is discharging. While it is going from negative to positive, we should take minus IR. While it is going from positive to negative, we should take plus IR. So EMF and terminal potential difference are nothing but the same in case of ideal cell or when the cell is open to air. That means no external resistance is connected between the terminals of the battery. EMF and potential difference both are having identical values. I hope I reached you.